Hello children and welcome to the session today. Children, we have understood the different kinds of movements around us, whether it is in our body, in the animals or even in the plants for that matter. Children, what we are going to do today in chapter number 11 is how do we measure this movement and what exactly is the meaning of motion. The things that we are going to cover in this chapter include physical quantities, what is measurement, what are the standard units of measurement and why do we need them, how do we measure length, what is the importance of estimation, what is motion, what are the different types of motion, and what happens when different motions are occurring at the same time. And we are also going to delve briefly into the history of transport. So let's get going. Children, in our daily life, whenever we go to ask for milk from a milkman, what do you say? You say, give me 1 liter of milk. When you buy fruits, what do you say? Give me 1 kg of apple or 6 bananas. So what are we doing? We are measuring. Measurement is an integral part of our daily activities without fail. Children, physical quantities are the quantities like length, time, weight, temperature. These need to be measured. Now, in olden times, whenever we talked about length, for example, we did not use the terms like meter or kilometer. We used to say cubit span or we used to use foot span because there were no standard units of measurement. Then what would happen? If my cubit span or foot span was bigger than yours, then the measurement would never be accurate. So what did the scientists do then? Let's see. Scientists felt that a standard unit is necessary and should be commonly used throughout the world. Standard unit of measurements are those that have a fixed quantity and hence do not vary from person to person and place to place. In 1960, scientists adopted the International System of Units or the SI units. The SI unit of measuring length is meter, m. The SI unit of measuring time is second, s. The SI unit of measuring mass is kilogram, kg. The SI unit of measuring temperature is Kelvin, K. So that is how the SI system of measurement was developed. And we have already seen what are the units that are used for measuring length. We have understood the units used for measuring weight. And for time, what do we use? We say 60 minutes is 1 hour. 24 hours is 1 day, 365 days is 1 year and 10 years is 1 decade. This is how we measure time. Now, why do we need accurate measurements? As we've already discussed, we need accurate measurements so that if you are asking me for 1 kg of rice, I know how to weigh the exact amount so that your measurement and my measurement do not get mixed up. Now, this is a very basic example that I'm giving you, but when we talk about chemicals, when we talk about mixing of chemicals to make useful products, measurement becomes very accurate. When we are talking about an aeroplane traveling from, say, Delhi to Patna, how much fuel the aeroplane is going to need, that measurement is very important so that the aeroplane does not stop in the middle of nowhere. Next, children, let us understand the measurement of length. The measurement of length refers to the distance between point 1 and point 2. Now, in order to understand how we measure length, let us again watch a video. Length is the distance between any 2 points or places. It can be measured using a meter rod, measuring tape, a ruler, etc. Small lengths like the length of a notebook or a pencil can be measured using a scale in terms of centimeters or meters. The distance between 2 places is measured in kilometers. To measure the length of an object with a scale, some steps need to be followed. Step 1. Place the scale and the object in contact along with the length to be measured. Keep your eye vertically above the point where the measurement is to be taken. Do not use the worn-out position of the scale. In this case, use any other full mark on the ruler instead of the 0 mark. To get the length, subtract the reading of this full mark from the reading at the other end. In case you have to measure the length of a curved line, take a thread and tie a knot at one of its ends. To measure the length of a curved line, place the knot of thread at point A of the curved line. Move the thread carefully along the length of the curved line, holding the thread at small distances between your thumb and first finger. Continue till you reach the point B of the curved line. Put a mark on the thread using a pen. Place the stretched thread along a meter scale and measure the distance between the knot, point A, and the mark of the pen on the thread, point B. Sometimes estimation is very important. For example, if you are using a recipe to make tea, it says use 25 grams of sugar to make a cup of tea. Now, you cannot look for a measuring scale all the time to measure the 25 grams. So, what do? You estimate that this teaspoon or this tablespoon should be equal to this amount. So, estimation is very important. Next, children, let us understand what is motion. Now, we were talking about an aeroplane that travels from Delhi to Patna. Here we say that the aeroplane is moving. It is in motion. Why is it in motion? Because it is going from point A, which is Delhi, to point B, which is Patna, in a duration of time. What will be this duration of time? Probably 2 hours. So, what is motion? Motion is when a body covers a distance from A to B in a stipulated time. It is said to be in motion. So, children, if there are 10 cars parked on your street, in your colony, will you say that these are in motion? No, they will not be termed as in motion. Only the cars, the buses, the scooters that are covering a distance in a stipulated time will be said to be in motion. Now, there are many different types of motion. What are these? Let us watch a video and understand. Motion of different objects can be classified in different ways. When an object moves along a straight line, its motion is called rectilinear motion. The motion of the moon around the earth, running of an athlete on a circular track, and motion of the tip of the hands of a clock are examples of circular motion. When an object moves around a circular path, it is said to be in circular motion. When an object moves along a curved path, it is said to be in curvilinear motion. So, what are the different motions that we have just studied? We have understood linear motion, which travels in a straight line. For example, if you fire a bullet, the bullet is going to travel in a straight line. Then there is going to be curvilinear motion, which is going to take place on a curved path. Rotational motion, as in case of the blades of the fan moving. Periodic motion, when some motion is taking place repeatedly over a period of time. It is called periodic motion. Now, let us take the example of the pendulum of a clock. The pendulum of a clock will cover the exact same distance in the exact same time. So, this motion is periodic motion. Even a child on a swing will go to and fro in a period of time. This repetitive motion will be called periodic motion. And the movement of earth around the sun, which is a revolution of the earth that takes place in 365 days, is again periodic motion. Another interesting point, about the movement of earth is that the earth performs two motions at the same time. It is rotating on its own axis, that is rotation, and it is moving around the sun, which is called revolution, and these two are taking place at the same time. So this tells us that two different kinds of motion can take place at the same time. So children, having understood the different kinds of motion, having understood why there was a need for standard units of measurement, let us quickly recall what was the story of development of transport. So in earlier days, what was early human doing? The early human was either using his own feet, he was using animals or raft or anything that was made up of wooden logs. Over a period of time, when wood was used to make the wheel, then he used to design carts. He used them to design many other things. And slowly, what did the means of transport modify into? Cars, metros, aeroplanes, ships, buses, and bicycles. And all of these, what do? They help us move from point A to B. They help in motion. Right, children? Such an interesting chapter that we have done today. And we've learned so much about the SI units. We have learned about measurement. We have learned about the different kinds of motion and story and history of transportation. So I hope you've really enjoyed the lesson today. Thank you.